And we are live. Good evening, everyone. Tonight, we will be discussing Jay Morrison and the lack of performance that he is showing with the Tulsa Real Estate Fund. For the past 2 years now, Jay Morrison has yet to return a profit with this venture known as the Tulsa Real Estate Fund. And he just announced, I think it was 2 days ago, that he will not be redeeming any funds, no redemptions for the rest of the year of 2020 because he wants the fund to stay well capitalized. Also, Tony the Closer, who is well known in the wholesaling real estate space, is alleging that Jay Morrison has basically stiffed him for $53,000. I want you to think about that. This is a man who claims that he is for the people and that he loves black people. But you have another man out here alleging that he has stiffed him for $53,000. At this point, it's safe to say that Mr. I do this in real life just isn't living up to the claims that he's made time and time again. Also, throughout the live stream, we're going to talk about my favorite investments, silver, gold. We'll also talk about crypto, and we'll get into the information. As you come into this live stream, please hit 1 if you can see me and hear me clearly. Please like the video, share the video, subscribe, and please hit the notification bell so that you can be notified when I go live and I upload videos. Also, if you want to be notified and you're not getting my notifications, you can join my mailing list. A link will be in the description below to get on my mailing list. And if you want to follow me and contact me in person, you can simply follow me on Instagram and you will be able to do so. Yes, I'm talking about Tony the Closer. And yes, we will be talking about Mr. Swaggy. I'm a firm believer in group economics. I'm a bootstrapper. I believe in doing for self. That's who I am. I've always been that way. But I also believe in that when you're doing group economics, there needs to be group risk. See, it can't be all of the group economics is on me, the investor. I get all of the risk, and then you get your reward right off the top. That's not group economics. That's called you're going to fund my business ventures, and if I lose money, we lose money, but I'm going to get my money off the top anyway, right? That's just not the way a good business venture should be structured in any capacity. And it just really shows the lack of financial literacy. Because if you look at the SEC filing, and Tone Talks and Yvette broke this down already, so I'm not going to even highlight any of that stuff. And I'm not a person who likes to dive into people's personal lives. I'm not really into digging up people's past. Everyone has a past. We're talking about the present right now, the present. And what strikes me as alarming is that when you look at the Brother Polites and you look at the Umar Johnsons and you look at the Jay Morrisons, these brothers, they're so knowledgeable. They can tap into the ancestors. They know about Mama or Yah. They can go back to ancient Kemet. They know about real estate. They know about OG Gurley. They can talk to you about, Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey. They've mastered all of this metaphysical knowledge. But then when you give them your money, they can never deliver on the product or the service that they claim that they're experts in. See, when you go to Jay Morrison's Instagram page, it's all about real estate and investing. So why is it now 2 years into the investing in the real estate, he's not turning a profit for you, right? Brother Polite can teach you about drinking kale juice and how to be healthy. Umar Johnson can teach you about how to save your black boys. But yet, every time you give these brothers your money, they can never deliver on the promises that they give you. Because, see, they're not qualified and they're guessing with your money. They're guessing with your money. And we know the economic conditions and based upon the data. We don't have time to be playing games. We don't have time to be playing games with all of this metaphysical knowledge. They can decalcify their pineal gland. They can tap into their chakras and the ancestors, but they can't make you no money. But when you go on his Instagram, he can make money. And so many of you come on my videos and you call me a scammer and you call me a fraud because I get donations. Let me tell you something. When you give Jay Morrison $500 to invest in the fund and he doesn't return money to you for 2 years, but he gets his money off the top, that's not an investment, baby. That's a donation. You're donating to Jay Morrison when you invest in the Tulsa Real Estate Fund because he's not returning anything to you. That's a donation. Now listen, I'm a free marketeer. I believe in free markets. If you want to be a sucker and give your money to him and let him get all the profits, may the Lord be with you. Go for it. But for those of you who are intelligent, for those of you who are three-dimensional thinkers, and you can see this for what it is, this is not an investment. Those are donations for him and his family so that he can drive a BMW. He can travel and he can live well. Because see, he's mastered other people's money using your money. And like someone said, run them donations. Because that's what he's doing to you. The difference between him and the Umar is what he's doing is legal. That's the only difference. But it's still a scheme. It's not a scam, but it's a scheme. So now let's get to the information. Now, this is the brother right here, Tony the Closer. This brother is well known in the wholesale, the wholesaling real estate business. Brother, we're going to get to him in a second. I want to get to the information because I don't want to beat around the bush. But we're going to come back to this. He's a legend. I'm going to put this in there because I know some of you're not going to sit through the entire presentation and watch it. So let's put this in here. Let's paste this. So for those of you who you want to get straight to the information, you can go right there. The brother has a whole video talking about this. What I want to do right now is I want to play this video for you where he's basically saying to you, no more redemptions for 2020. He's locking your capital up. So with that being said, let's play this video. We turn that off. Let's turn this on.
Redemptions and our 8% cumulative dividend payable. We put out a comprehensive redemption notification to all our investors stating that we would not be liquidating redemptions requests in 2020. What that means is, and again, it's all about education and us being mature, is that we have millions of dollars of capital that is invested into actual assets and opportunities.
Let's replay that.
And we only have a certain amount of reserve capital.
Hold on, let's replay this.
And again, it's all about education to all our investors, stating that we would not be liquidating redemptions requests in 2020. What that means is, and again, it's all about education and us being mature, is that we have millions of dollars of capital that is invested into actual assets and opportunities. And we only have a certain amount of reserve capital, operational capital, and future investment capital. So for us to meet our mission, right, of performing, we cannot continuously redeem or liquidate assets to redeem capital. And in 2020, with our development happening here and our other assets we're still stabilizing and developing, etc., we put out a statement to our investors that in 2020 that we are not accepting and liquidating any more redemption requests this year, right? So we need everyone to...
So there we go now. So now let's get to the documentation, right? This is the SEC report. And this is for the period ended June 30th, 2019. Okay? So we can see this right here, Tulsa Real Estate Fund, LLC. I'll put this in the chat so you guys can go and do your due diligence. Of course, Jay Morrison paid himself, Ariane. And real talk, I've already did the video. I told you that I'm going to upload the video for you. I will be uploading the video in the next few days. So don't worry about it. I got you. Trust me, brother. I got you. So as we can see right here, I put the document in the chat. So let's get straight to it. So we can see right here, this is for the year in 2019, and this is for the year 2018. And we can just go straight down here, and we can pull it up, and we can see. Let's zoom in for some of you who can't see. Right here. Net loss. So for 2019, and this is just up to June. The loss is $297,870 is what he lost in the first 6 months of 2019. And then we have $184,272 in 2018. Now, what's interesting here is that if you go up here to operating expenses, right? See, this is the important thing that really stood out to me. This is what really stood out to me, right? It says, when you look at this and you go to the operating expenses, this is what really stood out to me. I said, this is where, hold on, I just lost it for a second. Where did it go? Just had it. Give me 1 second. Oh, here we go. Right? When I looked at the operating expenses, it says marketing, general, and administrative management fee, total operating expenses. So to operate the fund, it cost them $458,744 to operate the fund. This much it cost them to operate the fund. That immediately stood out to me. That was weird to me, right? And then it cost him $198,942 in 2018 to operate the fund. To operate the fund. So basically, essentially, he's making money off the top. He's making money off the top. He's making money to run the fund, and he's not making any money. So when you invest that $500 for that preferred 8% return, and he has yet to return any money, right? You're overpaying, right? You're overpaying the management fees for him to manage a fund that's not returning you any profits yet. I want you to think about that. I really want you to sit here and think about that for a second. He's paying himself. And see, what I see here, and again, I can't say this with any degree of certainty, but when you start looking at a lot of the businesses, how he has all of the control, if you look at the SEC filing and you look at the fact that he's actually a part of the management company, you can start to see that this looks like double dipping to me, in my personal opinion. It looks like double dipping where he's going to get a piece of the management fee, that he's going to own a construction company, that he's going to own the marketing part of the company. So basically all of this operating expenses is just ways for him to put money in his pocket. So you take all of the risk. You are not getting any of the reward. He's getting all of the reward and he's underperforming. Now again, I'm not here to knock him. I'm just here to bring you the information. I'm just here to bring you the information. You do with it what you want to do with it. But in 2019 and in 2018, he's operating the fund at a loss. He's operating the fund at a loss. Now, he already has a questionable background. So now, what exactly are you paying for? What are you paying for? This is what is known as a donation. Now, BiggerPockets is a free site where you can go and get information for real estate and about real estate. And remember what I said earlier, I'm about group economics. I'm about pooling money together. I'm about working together. But it has to be also group risk as well. He started the fund with only $15,000 invested. So all of the capital, he has no skin in the game. Most of the money that's invested, all of it, well over 99% of the money invested is your money. Right? This is your money that's invested. So he has no skin in the game, but he's going to take 50% of the profits. He's charging a 5.5% management fee. Then the next step, you got to ask yourself, if the company started with negative $15,000 because that's what he sunk into the company, how are the shares valued at $500? I want to ask you this. I want to ask you the question again. How did he come up with the shares? If he had an IPO, how did he value the shares at $500 per share? Ask yourself that question. Why $500? How did he come up with that valuation? See, when you start asking yourself these simple questions, it adds up very quickly. It's not complicated. Now, even here on BiggerPockets, the guy says, I have no practical experience with crowdfunding, but the 5.5% fund fee seems high, especially since they get paid first. I couldn't find any offering docs on the website that would lay out the details, so I could be wrong. They also seem light on plans for what type of properties they will focus on. We will invest in real estate projects that are impactful to the community, deliver a moderate return to investors, and reinvest into target communities. Now, this is a forum about real estate. And even people in real estate say this doesn't make sense to them. So he's overcharging you and under-delivering. That, my friends, is a donation. And now there is no public market for you to really sell the shares. There's no liquidity. So how do you get out of this investment? How do you get out? How do you get out of the investment? Who are you going to sell the shares to? And your funds are locked up for 12 months. And then inside of the legal jargon, he basically just locked your funds up again and said he's not going to disperse the funds. Now, I really want you to think about this for a second. I really want you to put on your thinking caps. And I want to play this video for you so we can see. I'm not here to bash the brother, but you don't experiment with people's money. See, what I want to see that you have experience in doing this. What we can see here is this man does not have any experience running a fund of this size. Now, here we go. Listen to this.
And Hebrew Israelites and Moors and others, I'm just giving you game the elder gave me. I know some of y'all don't like me because I'm swaggy and I'm rich, and I do this shit in real life, but get past your dislike for me real quick. Baba Joe is the one that put me on game.
And I'm glad you said that. You are rich. You know why you're rich in real life? Because you can run operating expenses for marketing and general administrative management fees for $256,000. That's why you're rich in real life. Right? Your total operating expenses is $458,000. That's how you could do it in real life. You're rich in real life because you figured out a scheme, not a scam because it's legal, to get a bunch of suckers to give you money and you not deliver, but you get your money off the top. So yeah, you're right. You are rich in real life. You're real rich. This is how it works. What has Jay Morrison actually shown you that he can deliver on to make you give him over $9 million to invest in? What has he actually said? This is what I've produced in the past. That's a donation. That's not an investment. That's a donation. Right now, I'm glad someone put up the idea about gentrification. Right? Because the whole idea is he wants to beat gentrification. See, what Jay Morrison is doing is what is known as real estate syndication. He could talk about the People's Fund. He could talk about crowdfunding. This is real estate syndication. Now, I want to do a comparison and I want to just show you something. Because he's basically using social media to be like this guy right here. He wants to be like Grant Cardone. This is what he wants to do. He wants to be like Grant Cardone. He's trying to mimic what Grant Cardone is doing with Cardone Capital. The difference is Cardone Capital has $1.7 billion under management, and Cardone Capital itself has a lot of, accusations of having sleazy marketing tactics and a bunch of fees on top. Basically, they've mastered the idea of other people's money. This is what is known as OPM. This is all about real estate syndication, where you get a whole bunch of people to give you money and you skim a little bit off the top. And if you deliver a profit, great. If you don't deliver a profit, oh well, because all of the risk is on the investors, but you don't get any of the benefits. You don't get any of the benefits of actually owning the real estate, the tax advantages of owning the real estate, because you really don't own the real estate personally. You own a share in the company, not the actual underlying asset. And the underlying asset's illiquid. You can't even sell it to get out. Now, let me teach you something real quick about OPM, other people's money. See, what a lot of these real estate syndicators do is they'll go buy a property. Let's say they put $5 million into the property. They'll go get okay deals with your money. But see, remember I taught you that debt is money. And when you understand that debt is money, when they park that $5 million into the asset, that asset has what is known as equity. And most banks, when they see that you have equity in a property, they will loan you money against that equity. So what a lot of these real estate syndicators do, and I don't know if Jay is doing this, I just know that this is what a lot of real estate syndicators do. Please read between the lines is what I'm saying. They'll then go get a loan from the bank. So they'll use your money to buy the property and then now create a loan off of the equity that they have, and they'll go invest in the good deals for themselves. I want you to think about that. Let me repeat that because a lot of you may be missing what I'm saying to you. See, what a lot of these real estate syndicators do is they've mastered the idea and the strategy of other people's money. OPM. So they invest in one property and they'll say, see, look, family, you can't say I'm a scammer because I'm investing in the property. We're losing money, but hey, I'm investing the money like I said I was, like I said I would do. But then on the other side, right, they're getting lines of credit and loans from the bank to go invest in the better deals for themselves outside in their other companies and their other shell companies. You just don't know that. See, a lot of you don't understand the game. You don't understand the game. They save the good deals for themselves. And they give you the okay deals. See, anytime I see a person going after poor black people, let's just think about this for a second. We know about the data. You know me, I'm a bootstrapper. I believe in doing for self. I'm always going to do for me. I don't have time to sit around waiting for someone to do something for me that I can do for myself. But I do also understand there's limitations to doing for self. And I do also understand that there are people. A majority of our people have no business investing. They're poor. And we have structural problems in place. And if I'm a businessman and I see white people have $100 trillion plus of wealth, and I see black people only have $4.5 trillion of wealth, why the hell am I going to go after poor black people when I can go after the 100 trillion and compete with them? Why not compete with them and take assets and money from them as opposed to sitting around here trying to penny pinch a bunch of poor black people who don't know any better, who don't have any in business invested? But you gotta be smart enough to see that. Now, I want to show you what I mean by competing with other people. So, I keep telling you guys, watch this movie, The Big Short. This is really important that you watch this movie, The Big Short. Because in The Big Short, they was talking about the housing crisis. And there was a scene in the movie where they went down to Florida and they were talking to the mortgage brokers. And the mortgage brokers was talking about how they don't have no idea how any of this works. They just sign people up, put them in a bunch of subprime loans, give them balloon mortgages, arm mortgages. Go and watch this because this is extremely important. I did a live stream the other day. And I was talking to you about these three men right here, right? See, I don't guess when I speak. I'm very observant. And I seen these three young men, and they sell cars. And then I saw them hanging out with Jay Morrison. So my antennas automatically went up. I said to myself, I want to know, because see, these guys are just brokers. They're working off commission. It says how these three black millennial how these three millennial black men built $1 million automotive business in 1 year. So I seen these young men, and then I seen them hanging with Jay Morrison. So my antennas went up. And I went on the Instagram, and I said, I want to see who are they loaning money to, right? And they're lending money to a bunch of black people. So follow me here, right? Follow me. I'm going somewhere. This is important. See, this is how you learn how to analyze things. Because one thing I learned about a lot of the schemers, the quote unquote influencers, they all seem to hang together. They all seem to hang together. And I looked at their page and I said, look at this. They're basically giving a bunch of subprime auto loans to poor black people. They're basically giving a whole bunch of subprime auto loans to black people. Now, I know that these three men, they're not the ones underwriting this garbage. Right? They're not the people underwriting these auto loans. So I want to know who controls the paper behind them. Where's the real money at? Because see, that's where the shorting opportunity is. So guess what I went and did? I went and did some digging, and I went and found out what are the banks and the financing arms that are giving out these subprime loans. Because that's what they're doing. They're giving out a bunch of subprime auto loans. Now remember, I did an article the other day, right? Where it says banks accused of pushing mortgage deals on blacks. Remember, I did this the other day where I was talking about how they were pushing black people, poor black people, or black people who may have been prime, but they was pushing subprime mortgages on them. Well, guess what happened? Instead of doing subprime mortgages in 2018 and in 2019, what they're doing is they're doing subprime auto loans. And those three black men that you see are pushing it on there, right? So it says, I want to read this. She says, we just went right after them. She's talking about black people, said Ms. Jacobson, who was white, and says she was once the bank's top producing subprime officer nationally. Wells Fargo Mortgage had an emerging markets unit that specifically targeted black churches because it figured church leaders had a lot of influence and can convince congregants to take out subprime loans. So the only difference now is instead of going to the church to get influencers, they're going on the internet, on social media, to get these people who have large followings to push these cars on people, and they get commissions. See, you got to be a three-dimensional thinker. You got to be able to see through the game that's being ran here. And all of these people congregate together. And they sell us on the idea of, we're going to stop gentrification. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Right? Look what's happening here. This article, I put this up the other day too. Dealerships give car buyers some advice. Just stop paying your loan. So now he talks about stopping gentrification. You really believe with a $9 million fund that you have the ability to stop gentrification? You really think with a $9 million fund, you have the ability to stop gentrification? See, you have to be able to think and read between the lines. You're not stopping gentrification with no $9 billion. So I want to read an article for you because I want to show you there are hedge funds out here that has 20, 30, 40, 50 billion dollars under management, $100 billion under management. And they're going in and they're buying up entire towns. They're buying up entire towns. But yet this man's telling you he's going to stop gentrification with $9 million. So let me read this article for you. This is from The Atlantic. It says it worked between 2011. Let me just read it from the beginning. It says between 2011 and 2017, some of the world's largest private equity groups and hedge funds, as well as other large investors, spent a combined $36 billion on more than 200,000 homes in ailing markets across the country. In one Atlanta zip code. In one Atlanta zip code. In one Atlanta zip code. They brought almost 90% of the 7,500 homes sold between January 2011 and June 2012. Today, institutional investors own at least 1 in 5 single-family rentals in some parts of the metro area, according to Dan Immergluck, a professor at Urban Studies Institute at Georgia State University. Some of the nation's hardest hit housing markets were finally stabilized. But he's going to tell you he's going to stop gentrification with $9 million. And I just showed you the funds they pumped $36 billion into more than 200,000 homes. They brought up 90% of an entire zip code. But he's telling you he's going to stop gentrification with $9 million. Only a fool would believe that. And no disrespect to you, but a lot of you gotta really up your financial literacy. You gotta up the game and understand. I'm not telling you not to be an entrepreneur. I'm not telling you not to pursue your dreams. I'm telling you to understand that there's a difference between being an entrepreneur and being a sucker. It says the investors argued that they could be good landlords, better in fact than cash-strapped small-timers. According to Diane Toom, the executive director of the National Rental Home Council, a trade group established in 2014, single-family rental companies professionalized a sector traditionally run by mom-and-pop landlords, bringing with them 24/7 responses to maintenance requests and a deep pool of capital that they can spend on homes. A deep pool of capital that they could spend on homes. I'm not telling you not to pursue your dreams and aspirations. I'm telling you to be realistic. And I'm telling you that Jay Morrison doesn't have the ability to deliver on what he said he can deliver on. And we don't have time to be guessing on waiting for you to get it right and selling people dreams. Guys, I speak on things that I know. People ask me all the time, why don't you mentor people? Why don't you start a mentorship? I don't have the time to mentor people. I don't have the time to do it, and it's not worth my time. I'd rather do this for free and give you free information and point you in the right direction, not because I want you to think like me, but because I want to teach you how to think. I want to teach you how to think. How to think. Not to think like me. As I said to you before, these brothers claim to have all of this metaphysical knowledge from the ancestors. Their chakras is in line. They want to start a school for black boys. They want to get you healthy and get you drinking kale juice. They want to go and teach you how to go and do real estate. But every time you give them money, they can never deliver on the product or service that you're paying them for. There's always a problem of why they can't deliver on what you are actually paying for. Think about that. Why can't the ancestors help them send you your DVD? Why can't the ancestors help them get some good real estate? Right? But when they're selling you, they're swaggy. In real life. They got all of this bravado, all of this ego when they're trying to get your money. But then when they get your money, they can't do anything. They can't open a school. The lawyer sabotaged them. The SEC sabotaged them. PayPal sabotaged them. Right? See, when you see them on Instagram and they're showing you, he's writing on his whiteboard, he's basically saying to you, I'm an expert, I'm a pro. Give me your money. I'm a pro, give me your money. Not, oh, I'm going to try to figure it out, family. I'm going to try to get this going, family. No, he's basically saying, I'm a pro. So then I should see professional results. I shouldn't have to wait for you to, figure it out. Oh, just give him a chance. That's not how it was marketed. And then he used Tulsa. See, this is what you got to understand. This is what was so insidious about it. This was just so disgusting about it. Is he used a real tragedy. See, they used black pain and black struggle to get in your pocket. Tulsa is something that really, traumatized the black community. That was the first time that we tried to go and build something and we had it taken away from us and destroyed. And he used that imagery and that incident and that time in history to piggyback and launch this fund. And really what he's doing is he's just paying himself a bunch of management fees up until this point. Now, I want to also show you something, right? Because I believe in giving you alternatives. And I'm not saying that this is financial advice. I'm simply giving you some common sense. And there's 451 of you watching this. Hit the like button. It helps the content rank in the search engines. And let me put this article in the chat for you as well, so that you can go and you can read this stuff on your own. Go and educate yourself so you can read this and know what you up against. Right? On this channel right here, on April 10th, 2019, I said, Minister Jap, stop talking about Bitcoin. I want to show you a parallel. Just want to show you something. Right? I put this video up for free. I took out 15 minutes of my time to teach you and educate you about the differences between Bitcoin versus gold, to show you the difference. If you listened to me, or you went and did your research after I put this video up, Bitcoin, this is on April 10th, right? If you go right here and you pull up a chart, refresh this real quick. If you pull up this chart right here, and you go right here, April 19, Bitcoin was trading at around, let's say $5,000. $5,000 per coin. Bitcoin then went from $5,000 per coin all the way up to under $14,000. So if you would have listened to me, you would have doubled your money. And again, I'm not saying that I'm some expert and I'm not telling you have to listen to me. What I'm saying to you is that this is the person giving you information for free. You would actually made money had you listened to me. You would actually make money. And then Bitcoin crashed from a little under 14,000 all the way back down to 63, 6,500, and then pop back up to 10,500. So you would have doubled your money listening to me. I also talk about buying gold and silver all the time. Let's pull up a chart of gold. Back in April, if we go here, April 19, gold was trading at $1,293. It went from $1,293 up to $1,673 in less than a year. In less than a year. And this is for free. For free. For free. And I get called a scammer. So here it is. The things I'm talking about on this channel for free have outperformed the Tulsa Real Estate Fund by magnitudes. By magnitudes. And see, I'm not charging you to tell you this stuff. I'm not charging you to share this information with you. But I get called a scammer. I get called a scammer to bring you information, to break down complex things and make it simple for you. But I get called a scammer. But this man right here, who's operating a business, a fund at a loss, a net loss, 2 years in a row, he's lost money in the fund. How many more years are you going to give him? 3 more? 5 more? 10 more? You take all the risks. Now, if you win and you make money and you make a profit, he's going to take 50% of the profits. For what? For what? No skin in the game whatsoever. No skin in the game. But I get called a scammer. That's why I laugh. Because this stuff keeps happening. And it will continue to happen because these guys are history pimps. They're pimping you. They're pimping you. And they don't have no respect. And like I said, Tone Talks broke this down beautifully. He went into all of the actual documentation, the SEC filing, where his wife is making over $112,000. What is his wife contributing to the Tulsa Real Estate Fund where she needs to be making 6 figures? What is his wife contributing to the Tulsa Real Estate Fund where she needs to be making 6 figures? And then Tone broke down how he got the key man clause in there. See, you notice I'm not talking about none of the stuff, the bankruptcies and none of, I don't get into that. One thing about me, I stay away from that stuff. But you can't deny that that's there. And then now you have this. And then now you have the NFL Players Association put this letter out. Right? They put this out. They put up his criminal record, not me. And they talked about his other business partner. This is here. You go look this up. See, I don't guess when I come up here and speak. I give you the information. If a man says he wants to work with your children, he needs to be taking care of his children. If a man's saying to you he wants to invest your money, he needs to be able to show you a portfolio. Before you give Jay Morrison a dime of your money, he should have been talking to you about numbers, about information, about deals that he's already accomplished and finalized and sealed. That's what you do. Now, let's get to the dude, Tony the Closer.
Be doing. So what's the real beef? I like that question. First, the real beef is with Jay Morrison and his wife. Jay Morrison and his wife, they partnered with me in my event last year in October. This should be making me mad, God. So they partnered with me in my event in October. In the middle of the event, they backed out 2 weeks prior to the event because they thought they were going to house my shit and I wasn't standing for it. So they kept over $50,000 in my money. To this day, that event happened on November the 8th and 9th. To this day, I have not seen one penny from them in my event money, on the hard-earned money that I built up and my audience spent in order to come to the event. So in 2019 of October, we partnered up. They backed out 2 weeks prior to my event, and then they ran off with my fucking money. Have not returned an email or call from my attorney. Their attorney has no longer answered a single call. This shit is like the example of like somebody running off with somebody's money. So my beef with Jay is that he stole my motherfucking money. And from what I hear, he's been taking a lot of people's money. And I'm sick of motherfuckers out here acting like shit all cool. You can't run off of $50K of my money and think I don't fucking want my money. Like, I want my motherfucking money right now. And then to look at a nigga that I consider a friend, even if you got a beef with me about anything.
So let me give you some context. We don't have to sit here. I know it's a Friday. Thank you for the donation, Miss Supreme Cinema. She said, how is the real estate fund losing money when real estate prices have been going up for the past 10 years? Again, that goes back to what I was saying to you about syndication. See, what a lot of syndicators do is they keep the good deals for themselves and they put you in the okay deals, right? They keep the good deals for them and their friends and they leverage your money to go get more financing from the bank. They leverage the equity in the deals that they get for you so that on the back end they can get the good deals for them and their friends. That's how. I want to take a step back though. This guy, Tony the Closer, this is not some random guy. This is a guy that has a following. This guy has 14.3K followers. This is a guy that's in the wholesaling place. He's in the real estate industry. Now, this is what he's alleging happened to him with Jay Morrison. That they were supposed to have a conference, and at the last minute, Jay doesn't show up, but he had already paid Jay. See, now you got to start really putting things together. And there's a Instagram page by the name of False Prophets that sent me a lot of this information. I like to give credit where credit is due. I don't want to just take all of the credit for this. There's a brother by the name, maybe even a sister, I don't know if it's a male or female on that runs that page, that sent me this information. Now, I wouldn't say that he's scamming people as far as the Tulsa Real Estate Fund is concerned, because it's legal what he's doing. It's in the actual documents. It's just a scheme. It's just a scheme. Now, this is a brother who's in the real estate space that's saying he got scammed by Jay.
Anything on the side, you don't go align yourself with a nigga that you know done stole from a nigga. So, in addition to the fact that you done ran up, you fucking, this nigga done stole from me, as my friend, if you don't even fuck with me no more or whatever, that's cool. But to you to go run out there and be with a nigga that you know has stole from me, you definitely a bitch ass nigga. Like, you can't go align with a nigga that done did a nigga wrong just because you got a feeling or you want to show like, so man, that shit weak as a motherfucker. So like, yeah, and niggas be like, yo, let that shit go, man. You can get that back. Fuck that, nigga. That's $50K. I want my motherfucking money. And for Max Maxwell, who goddamn, like, nigga, if you can go stand in the picture with a nigga that you know stole from a nigga that you consider the best friend, you are a bitch ass nigga. Like, I just don't bite my tongue when it comes to shit like that. Jay Morrison, you a fucking con artist. You a bitch ass nigga. I want my money. I'm not gonna stop calling you out because you a bitch ass nigga. And your wife took part in that shit too. So all that king and queen shit, y'all niggas is crooks. Y'all gonna end up on a fucking American greed playing with people's money.
And I'm glad he just said that. See, certain words, soon as I hear king and queen, if we're talking about business, I want to hear things like ROI, revenue, profit margins, right? Debt to equity, right? I want to hear finance terms, business terms. Soon as I hear king and queen, scam. Mama Oya, scam. The ancestors, scam. Kemet, scam. Back to Africa, scam. Hotep, scam. Red, black, and green, scam. Marcus Garvey, scam. So if a person comes to me and they were talking about business and they mention anything about any of the ancestors or any of that, scam, 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 scam. If they start talking about my chakras, decalcifying my pineal gland, scam. Scam. As soon as I hear it, scam. OG girly, scam. Standing on the shoulders of our ancestors, scam. Soon as I hear that, the Orishas, scam. Oh, my brother. See, what you just have to understand, my brother, is that we's just got to stick together and go get the white man's, my brother, scam. Oh, Ogun. We just got to get that spirit of Ogun, family. We just got to get on code. Scam. Kundalini energy. Scam. As soon as I hear that, scam, 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 scam. I don't want to hear any of that. I don't want to hum, meditate. I don't want to come to your retreat. I want you to do what you said you were going to do. Like Suge Knight said, I don't want to see you dancing all up in a video. If you are a real estate fund manager, manage the real estate fund. I don't want to see you trying to be no community activist, no advocate. I don't want you talking about reparations with Baba Joe. I don't care about how swaggy you are in real life. I don't care about Treff life. I care about can you make money in real life. I don't want you, like Suge said, I don't want you dancing all up in the video. I don't want you taking pictures all up in the video. I see a dashiki, scam. I don't care about the crystal. I want to see you doing real estate. I want to see you doing real estate, Jay. I want to see you doing real estate and getting deals. I don't want to run the donations. I want you to return. I want you to run that preferred investment. You know what I'm saying? I don't have time for this. I don't want to run them donations. Run them returns. Give me that investment. I don't care about plebiscites. Yeah, Aryan pleb. I don't want to hear that. I want investments. I want to make the money that you said you was going to make. I don't want to hear about the attorney. Why the ancestors can't help you make us money? Where's the ancestors at? Why can't the ancestors help you get good deals? Actually, run them dividends. Yeah, run them dividends. Give us some money. Say for the culture. You do it for the culture. You get all of the money. You get the administrative fees and the operating expenses and the management fee of $458,000 of total operating expenses. What are you operating? And and right in here they show you the deals that they have. You can see the deals that they put together right here. And this is what's even more funny. This is what's even more funny. I forgot to read this. It's just so much. It says the Tulsa Real Estate Fund deployed $550,000 in capital for the acquisition of a 98-unit apartment development with a 98% occupancy rate. The total acquisition cost was $3.85 million. The joint venture on the deal is Alchemy Real Estate Investment Group, LLC, an experienced minority-owned multi-family investor. The company has charged origination fees of $16,500. The company has a 40% equity ownership in the property noted above. I want you to think about this. So he doesn't, based upon this document, the Tulsa Real Estate Fund doesn't even own the entire 98 units. He's going into partnership deals with these people. So now, if you're an investor in this fund, you need to find out who is Alchemy Real Estate Investment Group. You need to find out who are these people? Are they connected in any way? At a certain point, you got to look at this and just say it doesn't make sense. See, what he's doing is again, let me not say that. I can't say this with any high degree of certainty. So let me take a step back. What I see here is a person, from what I see, my opinion, this is the person who's eating from every side of the pie and leaving you with all of the risk is what I see. That's what I see. I see a person that has received close to $500,000 in half a year. Guys, this says as of June 30th, 2019, from December 31st, 2018. So this looks like this is a 6-month time period to me. And his operating expenses in that 6-month time period was $458,000. Think about that. To run this business is almost $500,000 a year is what he's saying. To not make any money. Now, if this is group economics to you, if this is black empowerment to you, God bless you. But to me, this looks like a hustle. And it's 5:15 watching. Hit the like button. It's free to like the video. It's free to like the video. Now I want to play another video for you. It's another video. Listen to this. Yeah, listen to this. I want you to listen to this.
Marcus Garvey took on those things. Fiduciary party. And so we take on those things because Marcus Garvey took on those things. We take on those things because O.W. Gurley took on those things. We take on those things because so many others, Noble Drew Ali, Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and so many others took on these acts of pioneering to make the investment to see our community advanced.
Here we go. See? Marcus Garvey, Noble Drew Ali, right? All of these different people, right? So I don't want to hear a history lesson. What the hell does history have to do with real estate, man? You are not performing. Why are you not performing? Why are you not making us money? Why can't people take their money out? Why are you locking up the funds? I want you to think about that. Now, someone said, do you prefer Pan-African or Pan-American? I prefer Pan make me money. I want Pan make me money. If I give you money to do a real estate venture, I want Pan make me money. I don't care about Pan-Africanism. See, this is the problem with y'all. You keep talking about group economics. What about group risk and group reward? I don't want no history lesson. I'm not paying you to teach me about history. I'm paying you to give me an 8% preferred return on my money. I don't care about Pan-Africanism. I don't care about Pan-Americanism. I care about the Pan money. Can you make money? Yes or no? Simple. Simple. That's what I want. That's what I'm giving you money to do. And Yvette spoke about this. Yvette spoke about this very clearly about he wants to talk about everything else but what he needs to be focusing on. Because, see, it's not about making money. It's about marketing and gaining more money for the fund. Because he understands the more people I can get into the fund, the more fees I can generate. The more fees that I can generate, the more money I make. So it's all about marketing. It's all about marketing. It's all about marketing. That's what it's about. Getting more people into the fund. So what is he charging you 5.5% for? What is the management fee for? Use your brain. This isn't complicated. As I said, soon as I saw these young men, these guys are from New York City. And I looked at their Instagram page. I immediately said, this is subprime auto lending. And Jay Morrison and I just did an event with these brothers here. See, this all ties in together because who you hang around is very important about who you are. And look at who they're targeting. They're selling subprime auto loans to black people. And they're masking this as black empowerment. We're helping black people get cars. These are the kind of people that Mr. in real life is with. These are Instagram influencers getting a bunch of young, dumb, impressionable people into bad auto loans. So as I said, I wanted to find out who owns these loans and go short these banks. And look, as soon as the market cracked, you see all of these banks selling off hard. See, this is what I do. I don't have to go after poor black people. I can use my brain and I can put one and one together and get two. Okay. These three black men remind me of the guys from The Big Short. Let me go see what banks is behind these three men. Because they're preying on black people. They're preying on black people who don't know any better. They just want to get a car. And again, I read this article. So I just go short these banks. I don't have to go to poor black people and hustle them with schemes. I can go take money from the dominant society. They got $100 trillion of wealth. Why am I over here trying to create funds for black people, telling them we're going to stop gentrification? And you can't. You're not stopping gentrification with no $9 million. Only a fool would believe that. Let's get to the other video now.
Consultant or something like that. And then another young lady that worked with him also, I mean, that does work with him also was like, yeah, I wouldn't come under the brand. I would come under the consulting thing. Then, we kind of like we go out to eat that weekend at Cheetah's. We go to Cheetah's and the bill was like $600 and something, and he left. He ran off on me. Like he literally left. It was me, him, Isaac Grace, and a couple other guys that were JMA guys. We all sitting down at dinner eating at Cheetah's. The bill come and them niggas completely like, well, Isaac and them were still at the table. Jay hauled ass, like he just left, didn't say bye, didn't put $100 bill on the table, nothing. He literally just left. So it's me.
So this is a millionaire that went out to eat with them, and he's saying he just stuck him with the bill and left. But he's about to explain how Jay Morrison just left him and didn't follow through. Allegedly, this is all alleged based upon what Tony the Closer is saying. Follow this.
Isaac and all Jay's people sitting at the table, my homeboy, and I'm like, yo, where'd Jay go? At the time, I had just literally lost my debit card inside of the strip club, so I don't even know where my fucking debit card is. Isaac and his guys, they were all like trying to piece together the bill as if the bill, it was almost like some female shit. Like niggas like, well, my shit only $40. My shit is like only this. I'm like, bro, how much is it, man? I'll just pay the whole I end up cash apping Isaac like $400 some dollars or some shit like that because it was just like a weird situation. I don't like being around weird shit. So like that was the first thing that happened. Then we went to Las Vegas. We shot the promo shit. Everything seemed cool. Then when we got back, like Ernestine had texted me and said she wanted to talk to me about something. So Ernestine and Jay both called me at like 11:30 at night, and they were like, "Yo, we got all these different things going on in our brand, and we want to make sure that like we talk to you about some things because we don't know if you fit in alignment with our brand. Like we got the SEC and the FBI investigating us, and we don't have time for like any stuff. So we heard that you had like a domestic violence pass, and we want to see your paperwork on your domestic violence stuff. And also, I want to know why you don't get along with Max, and I want to know like what's up with you and your dad, X, Y, Z. And I was like, yo, first off, how the fuck you think you're gonna call me and question me? You in my event, like you're not doing me a favor, like. Ain't this nigga a crack dealer? Like he gets online and brags about being a 3-time felon, but you gonna try to fucking like ask me about having domestic violence in my past? I'm like, bro, like if you don't get the fuck out of here, I'm like, nah, I'm offended by that. So we get off the phone and I tell them like, I said, first off, I'm not giving nobody no motherfucking paperwork, and y'all got me fucked up. I said, if y'all feel away, whatever it is, what it is. So the next day. I text Jay and I was like, yo, I really don't like the way that conversation went. And like real talk, like because we were like in the middle of him talking about me being the COO of his company and shit, like to get the real estate business set up. So I told him, I said, we're going to hold off on that. We're just going to focus on the event. And after the event is finalized, then we can look and see how we proceed from there because I wasn't feeling good about it after that. And
now, someone just put something really good in the chat. You have all of these JMA students who claim to be successful and they're closing all of these deals. So why are they sitting around trying to figure out who's going to split this? They're all millionaires, right? Shouldn't they be able to pay the bill? Now, again, I want to be clear here. This guy is a successful real estate wholesaler. This isn't some, Johnny come lately guy. This is his first rodeo. Him and Jay are planning on running a company together, allegedly. Him and Jay are planning on doing events together, allegedly. This guy he's going into very great detail, and he has documents and everything. So I encourage you to go to his channel and actually watch the whole video. We're going to watch about another 3 to 4 minutes just to get the context as to what's going on, because this is important when we see the bankruptcy filing in 2016. See, this is relevant.
And then from there, he ends up sending me this long ass email talking about that they were going to back out the event. So this was they backed out. This is the first time this was the first time he threatened to back out the event. So like this is like before we actually went on the run. So like right after we shot the Vegas promo, we came back like that Monday. He had said he was going to back out. So that was like that first week in October. Now I told him, I was like, yo. Like, what you gonna tell the people about you backing out? Because I said that's some bullshit. I was like, ain't nothing happened. I was like, if you if you feel like you gonna back out or whatever because you want to, whatever, like you gonna have to address that. But I'm not gonna lie, mislead people and try to make them think something or whatever. So he ended up like, you know what, it's cool. We're gonna go ahead and knock it out. We're gonna do the event. It's all good. So a couple weeks go by, and like the ticket sales were kind of blah. Like we had sold like 200 and something tickets. It was like it wasn't what either of us had expected as far as ticket sales. And we get on the call because Jay's team had like this, like basically trying to make it seem like they were the ones that were generating income. So I was like, yo, men lie, women lie, numbers don't. Let's get on the call. I'm gonna have my team bring up all the numbers and shit that we have as far as Facebook conversions and everything else. You get your ad guys.
So what he's saying is basically they're having an event and he's basically getting all of the sales and getting the people to come into the event. And Jay's trying to act like it's him and his swag that are getting all of these people to sign up. See, this stuff is important because it's a track record. Go back to Brother Polite. Look at Umar. Look at Jay. Whether what they're doing is legal, is it ethical? right? It's a pattern of behavior here. How do all of these people keep having the same story about you, the same experience with you? How many people are you going to come across that keep all of their stories are similar? There's a pattern here. This is not complicated. And I keep saying this to you. I believe in group economics. I also believe in group risk. If we're doing a venture together, we should be splitting the risk equally. It shouldn't be the people put up $9 million into the fund and you get 50% of the profit, but you don't have 50% of the risk. And you get to eat all of the profits with little management or all of the fund, even if you're not making money with management fees. That just doesn't make sense to me. It's a pattern here. There's a pattern of all of these brothers. They get all of the benefit. You take all of the risk. Umar doesn't properly set the school up the right way. Doesn't have proper tax exemption status. It costs the people $160,000. Incompetence cost you money. Jay has no experience in running real estate funds. You just want to bank on him because he's a black brother. 2 years into it, he can't make you a profit. I'm not saying not to trust black people. I'm not saying that you shouldn't want to do business with your people. I'm not saying that at all. I believe in working with your people. I believe in fairness, though. I believe in honesty. I believe in transparency. As I said before, you don't see me soliciting poor black people. It's a reason why I don't solicit poor black people. Number one, I legally could not do it because you have to be an accredited investor in order to invest. And it's the reason why they put these type of laws in place. Because see, if you are an accredited investor, it's not that you're smarter or you know more than a person that may be poor or who may not be an accredited investor. What they're saying to you is that you have the income and the lifestyle and the assets that you can lose $50,000 and it won't change your standard of living. If you're a poor black person, you can't afford to take no $50,000 loss if that's your whole savings. You're a middle class black person, you can't afford to take no $50,000 hit. And I want to read because some of you may not know what an accredited investor is. It says, who is an accredited investor? Rule 501 Regulation D of the Securities Act of 1933 provides the definition for an accredited investor. Simply put, the SEC defines an accredited investor through the confines of income and net worth two ways. A natural person with income exceeding $200,000 in each of the 2 most recent years, or joint income with a spouse exceeding $300,000 for those years, and a reasonable expectation of the same income level in the current year. A natural person who has an individual net worth or a joint net worth with a person's spouse that exceeds $1 million at the time of purchase, excluding the value of the primary residence of such person. That means that if they take a loss, these people have $1 million in assets. As I said before, I don't want to go after poor black people. I want to go after where the real money's at. And if I can't get their money, then I want to compete with them. The last thing I want to do is sit up here and have people making videos on. I get called a scammer because people give me a $20 donation. Could you imagine if I started a fund? What people would be doing? It's not worth the headache. If you care about black people, give them a cheap product. Teach. I'm not saying you should teach for free. You should get paid for your information. You want to help poor people. You want to give back to your community. Guys, 8% of a $500 investment is $40. $8% of a $500 investment is $40. What the hell is $40 going to do for you and your family? You're poor. You don't have any business doing that. I tell you guys all the time, invest in skills. Go learn how to code. I showed you I pull it up all the time, the MIT site for free, open courseware that you can go and learn for free. for free. It's not complicated. It's not complicated. What is $40 going to do for you and your family? Let's go back to the video.
On the table, and we gonna discuss this like real numbers. So we get on the call, and the first thing I told him, because I had heard like under talk of my team, from Jay's team, I was like, listen, bro, first off, like, we're gonna treat everybody with respect. I was like, I don't know what y'all been doing prior to this, but prior to you signing up with this event, I had already sold over 400 tickets, and I had just generated over $30,000 in ticket sales in 1 week. Now, from the time that we've aligned with you, like, we have not had those same type of numbers. So whatever you want to say, you can say it, but I got real data based off what I had already been doing prior to you signing up to the event. So we get on the call, and Jay's team didn't like the fact that, like, I was like, we're going to stop all this, like, all this, because I told him straight, I said, we're going to stop all this, like, sneak dissing and all this shit. Like, you ain't about to make my team feel like we inadequate or whatever, because the reality is that my guys have been producing. We produced before you got here. I've been producing with these guys all year long, and we're going to look at real numbers because I'm not with the bullshit. So we got everybody looking at, we pull out the numbers. Our numbers and everything were better. Like, it was seen like clear as day. And Jay actually wasn't on this call. So Jay's team gets off the call, and they called Jay and was like, yeah, I never felt so disrespected and blah, 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 blah. And the reality is, like, I didn't even say anything disrespectful. I said, but you will respect my team. I said, I haven't talked shit about anybody. I said, I've let you guys control the money. I said, this shit has been sloppy. And I said, real talk, it needs to be cleaned up.
Did you hear what he said? It's been sloppy. It's been sloppy. It's been sloppy. Doesn't it sound a lot like Brother Polite? Isn't it so strikingly similar? That once you give these people your money or you partner with them, because see, they're scattered. A jack of all trades is a master of none. You can't be a celebrity mentor, a real estate mogul, the dad of the year, Mr. Pan-African Marcus Garvey reincarnated, a history buff, talking about reparations, going to conferences. Guys, there's only 24 hours in a day. You have to sleep 8 of them. You have to be a father to your kid. You have to be a husband to your wife. You have to do research. You have to run a business. There's but so much time. So when I see a person that's scattered, that's all over the place, I know for a fact that your business is not right. Because see, I run a business. I don't have time to mentor you. People say, oh, can you? I can't. I don't have time. There's not enough time in the day for me to mentor you. I don't have the time. Right? I have to put my time where it pays me the most. You can't do Money Church Mondays, have a podcast, travel all over the country, and operate a real estate fund, and give your people money. You can't do it. You can't do it. It's not practical. It's not practical.
And Jay got on the phone. He's like, I think he had just got out of either some type of deposition for either the FBI or the SEC, because he's still going through like all the FBI shit. So he goes, you know what, Tone? I ain't got time for this, man. My team, I got 2 people telling me that you've been talking to them crazy, and I don't, I don't have time for it. I got too much going on, so we're gonna withdraw the event. And then he tried to make like a little sneak diss. He was like talking about like something being unprofessional or whatever. I said, first off, Jay, don't try that shit with me. I've been nothing but respectful to you, bro. So you keep it where it need to be at, but like, we ain't gonna do that. Like, straight like that. You say what you want to, but
listen, that's one thing. This brother's unprofessional too. I'm gonna be honest with you. I wouldn't want to invest no money with this brother either, and I'm not here being disrespectful or hating on the brother, but he seems very unprofessional too. This to me across the board, this just seems, mismanagement across the board on both parties. To me, like he seems, he's cursing every 5 minutes. I get it. Listen, some of us, we from a different, We come from different places or whatever. But I'm just saying, for me, I'm not investing my money with a person like that speaks and talks like this. For me, I wouldn't be able to do it. To me, he seems unprofessional as well. They both seem unprofessional, and I can see where the problem is at. There's 565 of you watching this. Hit the like button. It's free to like the content.
I said, y'all done tried to house my event. Y'all came here, your wife tried to put your name before my name and all this little corny ass shit. I said, nigga, I'm the only one that has literally had to pull money out of my pocket for this event. I said, from the outset, the only money that Jay has ever spent on that entire event, he spent like $13,000 in Facebook ads. He only spent money on ads. He did not spend a single dollar on anything else. It was so disgusting, even to the fact that when Ernestine and I all went to when we went to Vegas to do the promo shoot, the nigga tried to get me to pay for his wife's flight to Vegas. I'm like, nigga, I'm not buying your wife flight. Like, what the, like, nigga, you trying to get me to pay for your wife? You talking about she event staff? Like, no, nigga, you got to pay for your own wife to travel. Nigga, like, you gonna have your assistant. Like, Jay had called me every fucking day about everything.
And see, Jay has a history of doing this because he tried to monetize his wedding. He had people pay basically for them to watch his wedding. So he has a history of trying to make money, across the board every way that he could. Tony is an ex-NFL player. Yeah, that's what he said. I don't know. I don't know what he is. I'm not saying Tony isn't official. The guy said Tony may be the best wholesaler. Guys, let me explain something to you. I'm not here trying to put the brother down. I said that he's legit. I've seen that he makes good money. I'm just saying to you, this is not who I would want to put my money with. I'm saying I wouldn't want to put my money with him. I'm not saying he's lying. I wouldn't be playing a video if I said he was lying. I believe his story. I believe everything that he's saying is true. He's shown bank-wise that he makes $50,000 in deals. He's the real deal. When it comes to wholesaling, he's the real deal. I'm just telling you that there's a certain standard for me to invest my money in a person. For me to want to give my money to a person, there's a certain way that you're going to conduct yourself. For me, I don't know about you. I'm just saying there's a certain level of professionalism that I want to see from you for me to give you my money. I'm not putting no 10, 15, 20, $30,000 in somebody's hands that conducts themselves that way. That's just me. They talk about how swaggy and rich they are. I'm not doing that. For me, I don't know about you. And again, I'm not judging them. I'm just saying there's different strokes for different folks. I'm not putting my money with that. I'm not.
Then he have his assistant call me to try to talk about buying his wife's flight so we can go shoot promo video in Vegas. I'm like, bro, like, y'all got me so twisted. Like, that's not even that's not even real. Like, we're not doing that. But the night that we had this call where I brought everything to the light, but like, hey, we're gonna have all the numbers transparent. That's when Jay decided he was gonna back out. So at first he's like, I'm gonna put this out, and if we don't have any refunds or whatever, we'll get you the money back. But then it was like the narrative of what they posted made it seem like something unethical had happened. So the post that he put up was like, talking about how they operate on this highest integrity, and if you want a refund, it can be refunded to a JMA course. So now he was going to try to reroute people that had purchased tickets from the event using advertising money to his own personal course and not to the betterment of the team, but he was now pushing people into his own funnel system. So when I saw that, in addition to the fact that like the communication was like getting to be real disrespectful between teams, it was like, yo, I ain't even about to play with you. Like, just let me know when you're going to release the money. So then what he does is he had his production guy was my production guy for the event. So the production guy reaches out to me and tries to increase the price from $100,000 to $120,000. So now he tried to add an extra $20,000 to my audio video bill, which we had already agreed was going to be $100. Now he's like, yo, it's $120 because Jay backed out. So I'm like, I done paid him like $50K. I owe him another $50K before the event comes up, and now this nigga talking about, oh yeah, it's gonna be another $20. I was like, yo, y'all got me fucked up. Like, first off, we already agreed on a number And now you're trying to come back.
So that's enough right there. So again, if you want to watch the brother's entire video, I'll post this link in the chat as well. He gave you the story about what happened, about how Jay pulled out on him and basically left him stuck with the bill. I guess they had some type of joint account that they were doing where the funds were coming into an account that Jay controls. Allegedly, this is what he's saying. I have to make sure that I use those terms to protect myself. And this is what he's saying. He has documentation. He's currently in the process, he says, of pursuing legal action. He's got an attorney to go after this and, do what he has to do. So God bless him. Hopefully everything works out. But again, guys, this is in your face, as I said before, and I just want to recap this. This is the SEC report. This is not something that I photoshopped. And it says the Tulsa Real Estate Fund consolidated statements of operation for 6 months ended, right? Ended June 30th, 2019, in the year December 31st, 2018. And he has $500,000 and almost $500,000 in operating expenses. 2 years in a row, right? I've yet to come across a person who's received that 7%. I've yet to see it, and they have the losses here. Cost of membership P offering $397,000, $184,000. They have the losses here, so right? So you can see he's losing money. It's here in your face. Keep it up, bro. Eli, fellow blurred black nerd, because he know a lot of stuff. Thank you, Darian Marin. Appreciate the donation. This is in your face. So again, when you call me, because a lot of you come on and say, "Oh, you're a successful businessman. Why are you getting donations?" When you give Jay Morrison $500 or better, and he underperforms 2 years in a row, and he gets all of these management fees, that's a donation. That's a donation. That's a donation. That's a donation. That's it. It's up to you. And this is for half a year. For half a year, operating expenses. Now again, here go me, April 10th, 2019. Again, this isn't financial advice. I'm just telling you what I put my money in. See, I'm not coming to black people and saying, "Hey, let's start a fund and you give me your money." No, I show you the gold and the crypto and stuff that I own, and you can follow my word. Right? You don't gotta. Don't invest with what I'm saying. Just follow follow me and see is what I'm investing in making money or losing money. That's all you gotta do. Just check on the things I'm investing in and see if they're actually making money. Just check. If I say I own gold, look at the date, April 10th, 2019. Just look at the date. Look at the date. Go look at the chart. April 19. This is the gold chart. Gold versus the dollar. $1,300. From what I said, based upon the day, we can look at the price. It went from $1,300 to what? $1,673. So based upon what I said I'm investing in, me and my clients made money. Me and my clients made money. Right? I said I own Bitcoin. I show you my ledgers. I talk to you about the technology. Right? Go back to the date of when I posted the video. April 19th. Bitcoin went from there to there. Then Bitcoin went from here. Bitcoin went from 6,900, 10,500. I have my own skin in the game. I'm not sitting up here talking to you about something that I read in a book, that Mama Oya and the ancestors tapped into my pineal gland from the fifth dimension. I didn't decipher the Medu Neter. I didn't go and read some hieroglyphic ancient knowledge. I actually put money into things. I can show you a stack. Got kilos of gold bars. I can show you things I own. Thank you for the donation, Miss Supreme Cinema. Here's your fee for saving me thousands of dollars. Appreciate the donation. So again, don't never take a person's word for it. Follow what they say. That's all. If a person says they're a real estate investor, ask them to show you your real estate portfolio. They need to show you the real estate portfolio. Does Jay Morrison have a track record that you can point to and say, because he blocked me. He blocked me on Instagram. So, because I messaged him and I asked him questions and he blocked me. Because, see, many of these brothers are intimidated by me because they know I'm in the industry. And I'm not here trying to penny pinch black people because I know you don't have the money. And if I charge you $3,000, $2,000 for the education, you're not going to have any money to invest. I want to go after people that actually have funds and resources. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. And I sit up here and I give information because I enjoy doing this. I want something that's less stressful than what I currently do for a living. So I like to do this. I like to sit up here and talk and give people information, practical information, things that they can do. Not sit up here and sell you a dream. As I said before with gentrification. Look at this. He's telling you with $9 million, they're going to stop gentrification. Right here, hedge funds spent $36 billion on 200,000 homes in the Atlanta market. Can you do a video explaining options and futures trading? I can't specifically talk about options and futures trading because I'm still under a particular license. So I can't specifically talk about that right now. I have to wait 3 more months before I can start talking about stuff like that. I'm still under a license, so I don't want to get myself in trouble talking about that stuff. That's why you see me mainly talking about gold and silver, and you see me talking about Bitcoin because there's different rules and regulations to talk about that because I currently hold certain licenses. I can't speak specifically about futures trading and options trading. I could talk about real estate, though, and stuff like that. But again, how are you stopping gentrification? I talked to you about how syndicators work. He's trying to be a baby Grant Cardone. He's trying to be this is what he's trying to be like Grant Cardone. If you see a person in a jet, scam. If you see them driving nice cars and that's what they're marketing to you, scam. If they have a bunch of half-naked girls and women on their page, scam. If they're showing you their nice house and their nice car and they're flashing cash, scam. Scam. All you have to do, just go scam. Scam. Brother and sister, scam. Mama Oya, scam. Orisha, scam. Back to Africa. All that stuff because it's outside of what you need to be focusing on, which is the investment. It's all you have to do. These people are Instagram influencers and they're leveraging celebrity in the internet. Thank you for the donation, Ezekiel Casington. It's all you got to, you don't have to be, guys, I did the network marketing pyramid schemes. I did that. I was in Wake Up Now and got burned. Been there, done that, seen that. I was in Empower Network when it crashed. Been there, done that. I've seen Big Connect. I've seen Banners Brokers. I've seen all of these little affiliate marketing, network marketing schemes come and go. Jonathan Budd, David Wood, Mike Dillard. I purchased all of the courses. Kevin Trudeau. Been there, done that. Did the whole seminar stuff. All of these people work together to sell you. Been there, done that. So when I speak to you, I'm not hating on a black man. Somebody said, oh, all you do is talk about, black people. You a hater. Why? I'm not hating. I'm just saying to you, what has he produced? I can't count your aspirations. I have to count your failures as well. Right? I can't just sit up here and every time you talk, oh, I'm going to start this. I got to count the failures too. Because you're failing with other people's money. I don't care about who you're dating. I don't care about how good or bad of a father you are, unless you're trying to deal with children. Notice I didn't get personal with Jay. I didn't talk about any of the things that he has going on in his life. I didn't go dig up who he used to date. I didn't go dig up any of that stuff. I didn't do any of that stuff at all. Ray's Room, I got your message that you sent to me too. It says, would you be able to do a weekly review decoding of various financial experts interviews? YouTube has a bevy of movie review channels. Nevertheless, no financial mogul review videos. What I plan on doing, I just did a video for Real Talk. Real Talk, he wanted me to look at Virgin Galactic and DNA sequencing. And what I'm going to start doing is, Sunday's probably going to be our day. Is that loss in thousands? Yeah, guys, that loss. The total loss is $297,870 for 2019, and that's for 6 months. And then he lost $184,272, and I'll put that in the chat. This is on the SEC website. You just got to go and do your due diligence. But back to your question, what I'm gonna start doing is probably Sundays is going to be our day where we do like a Q&A. I just have to look at certain parameters and like legal stuff to make sure like I can't get sued for speaking about certain topics and stuff like that, and get like certain disclosures put into place. But I think that that's a really, really good idea. I got your I think you emailed me or you DM'd me about that. That's a really, really good idea, and I think that that would be very helpful for people. Because as I said before, there's too many people abusing black people, and when you come out speaking like this,
the elder gave me. I know some of y'all don't like me because I'm swaggy and I'm rich, and I do this shit in real life. But get past your dislike for me real quick. Bob,
right? When you speak like that, you can't then turn around and tell people you're locking their money up,
etc. We put out a statement to our investors that in 2020 that we are not, etc. We put out a statement to our investors that in 2020 that we are not accepting and liquidating any more redemption requests this year, right? So we need everyone to hold tight, know that we're ownership and assets, and we have to make responsible decisions as the fund managers and fiduciaries. If we liquidated everything, we sold everything, we have nothing. So what happens within our community is that we complain about gentrification and other people buying our communities, but we're not willing to hold on to the assets in our community. So if we want to sell everything, we cannot hold everything. You can't do both. You can't sell off and hold, right? And so we have no problem. We don't intend to make it hard for anyone to redeem their capital, but as it's clearly stated, and I want to just make this in our subscription agreement that we have a redemption policy, and as members, for all of our best interest, we have to make sure we have enough capital to operate the business and to stabilize our assets. Otherwise, we'd all be in trouble. So it's not about an emotional thing. It's about us making sound business decisions as co-partners in this organization.
Again, and remember, you don't actually own equity in these real estate projects. You have a subscription to the fund. Like at a certain point, you have to be able to see it for what it is, man. And this is why I named my channel "What Happened to Common Sense," because I can just see common sense really it lacks to such a high degree, and you just see people, blatantly taking advantage of people. Like this is not fair. This is not fair. Again, guys, I'm not sitting up here trying to beat on no black man. I'm not trying to beat up on no black man. I'm not sitting up here trying to hate on no black man. I'm sitting up here giving you tangible information. I'm giving you tangible information. These are questions that you need to ask before you invest. This is not complicated. And when he says stopping gentrification, I have to how the hell are you going to stop gentrification? It says, in one Atlanta zip code, they bought almost 90% of the 7,500 homes sold between January 2011 and June 2012. Think about that. He's telling you he's going to stop gentrification. Yet this one group of investors brought up an entire zip code. Think about that. Think about what you're competing against. You're not competing against Tommy and Johnny. This ain't no drug deal where you trying to flip the block. People brought up an entire zip code. Brought an entire zip. When you understand that, and remember, guys, I was talking to you about the repo market the other day, about how the Fed is pumping, on average, at least 50 to 75 billion every couple of days into the repo market, so that banks can lend to each other, interbank lending, so that they can give money to hedge funds to go and speculate. So when they got 36 billion under management, they're leveraging that up 50 to 1, 100 to 1. You're not competing with that. Come on, man. You got to use your brain and listen to what the hell these people are saying. Remember, I'm a bootstrapper. I'm a do-for-selfer. But I also understand that there's limitations to doing for self. And there are limitations to bootstrapping. These people got billions of dollars at their disposal. There's some hedge funds that got $500 billion under management. They could go buy an entire town. And you telling me you're going to go stop them from doing what they want to do? Come on, man. Use your brain and understand you are a black man and a black woman in America. Should you be striving to do the best you can do? Absolutely. Striverism is me, baby. But I know what I'm up against. And you'll never hear me say to you, you're going to buy my course for $1,000 and you're going to get rich. You're never going to hear me say to you, you're going to buy this stock and you're going to get rich. You're never going to hear me say you're going to buy a few gold coins and you're going to get rich. You're going to buy Bitcoin and you're going to get rich. You'll never hear me say that. Because I know about fractional reserve banking. I know about how the Fed and these banks create money out of thin air. I know this stuff. Now somebody said, how many businesses make money in their first year? Most don't. Jay Morrison isn't operating his first year. See, I like how this person said that. Jay Morrison isn't operating his first year. Jay Morrison says that he's a real estate expert. He's a guru. He says that he has over a decade of real estate experience. This is not a guy who just started a company. This is the guy who says that he has experience. This is the guy who's saying that he does this in real life. And you know what? You're right. Most businesses, it takes them about 3 to 5 years before they turn a profit. I agree. So then why are you taking over $500,000 a year to run the business? If you cared about black people and the spirit of Marcus Garvey, Frederick Douglass, Harriet Tubman, right? O.G. Gurley, if you operate in that way, as you say, why are you taking over $500,000 in 6 months to run the business almost? See, this is not complicated. See, I can deal with you people all day long. You shouldn't be getting a salary then if you're underperforming. His underperformance is worth, because he's on pace to do $1 million in a year in his expenses and management fees. Oh, I guess the ancestors said that he needed $1 million, brothers and sisters, right? He needs to call on the ancestors. This is where we at. This is where we at. Oh, whoa, it takes time for a business to make money. I agree, it does. So then why the hell are you charging people over $1 million to make money? And you're not making any money. Why are you doing that? It's not complicated. It's not complicated at all. And I want to play a little bit of this because I want to get to the ancestors.
And get more money because Jay backed out. Now, and this is, mind you guys, this is 2 weeks before the event takes place. And like probably less than 10 days before the event takes place, I got the audio video dude that works for Jay Morrison. Now I'm trying to increase his price by $20,000. Jay is...
I'm not selling anything. I don't sell anything. I'm simply doing this to give back to people so that they can learn how to think a little bit critically, analytically. And if you want to donate $5 or $10 to me, that's cool. I lose money doing this. In my studio alone, I have a video. I'll put that up in a second. Let me finish. I have a video detailing, breaking down how much money I made from YouTube. I made less than $3,000 for the year in YouTube. I don't make any money. I lose money doing this. I lose money doing this. I don't make money. I lose money.
To like $50,000+ of event money, I gotta pay $50K to the audio video guy. I gotta pay all the event expenses that were still coming up. I still had to fly all the speakers out, everything else. And this is all now coming out of my pocket because the money that was tied up into the event is either being refunded back to people for a baseless reason because Jake powered out of the event, and for two, well, it was really that. There was no reason for that money to be funneled anywhere other than back to me. So now we're talking about January of 2020. Not a single penny has ever been refunded back to me. I had an increased audio video bill of from 100,000 to 113. We ended up getting it from 120 to 113. I ended up having to pay this dude an extra $13,000. And then I had to deal with all the back end backlash for the people that backed out of the tickets and all that other stuff. And still to this day have not seen one penny back from the actual ticket sales that happened, nor have I got any response from attorneys or anything. So end of the day, fuck them.
Right? See, I want to play something for you, right? This is separate. This is Umar, right? But I just, because people are like, what are you talking about when we say the ancestors? The ancestors. They had contracts and stuff allegedly, so he's claiming he has receipts and everything. He's in the process of trying to reach out to him legally and do the whole process. So again, like I said, the Tony brother, he's not no slouch. He's not some guy that doesn't know this. He's been around the block before. He clearly, I believe that he's going to do what's necessary to get his money back. So he's going to do what he has to do. Again, like I said before, I would invest my money with him. I'm not saying he's a scammer. I don't know too much about him, but from what I've seen, he provides documentation that he actually makes money, stuff like that. Again, I'm not recommending anything. I'm just saying to you, the brother has proof that Jay Morrison, well, I wouldn't say proof. He's alleging that he has proof and documents showing what happened. But I want to show you something, right? Right? This is what people put their money into.
Fought to educate black children. If memory serves me correctly, he was an aide to Frederick Douglass when Frederick Douglass was escaping from slavery to freedom. And I got to get my history right, but he may have married Cousin Frederick and Auntie Anna Murray Douglass when they escaped from Baltimore to New York through Philadelphia. He may have been the priest to preside over the wedding, but I got to double check that because it's been a while on the stats. He was not a Pan-Africanist. He was not a Pan-Africanist. He felt that black people can make a way right here in the United States, but he was not an accommodationist. He don't have to be a Pan-Africanist as long as you're not an accommodationist. See, Dr. King was an integrationist, but Dr. King was not an accommodationist. He didn't bow down and lay down and let the Europeans do whatever they wanted to do to African people. He got up and he fought. Ashe. 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 They wanted to do to African people. He got up and he fought. Ashe. Ashe. Ashe, omi tutu honor tutu ile tutu get it number Ashe, Ibuka Babu equal to canoe Africa, Ibarati, Rum Ashe, Ibuka Babu equal to canoe Africa, Ibarati, Rum Ibuka Babu equal to canoe, or Kun Ibarati, Rum Ibuka Babu equal to canoe, Ayati Kun Ibarati, Ibuka Babu equal to We call on this ancestor and all the ancestors that work with him. We call on this ancestor and all the ancestors that work with him to rise with us. You and Alexander Crummell and whatever other great heroes we have, and even those who are not heroes, who just lived their life. You understand? Who just lived their life to help improve the condition of black people. We got so many heroes whose names we would never even know. This cemetery closes in 4 minutes. Lord have mercy. This was divine timing. This cemetery closes in 4 minutes. Lord have mercy. This was divine timing. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Lord have mercy. Mama Yehoja Orisha, Eshu Orisha, Ashe, Olokun Orisha, Oshun, Ashe, Shango Ashe, Ogun Ashe, Osain Ashe, Ebeji Ashe, Babalu Ae Ashe, Obatala Ashe. We call on Ori Ashe. We call on all the spirits, the ancestors and the Orishas and the Loas and the Obusums to come and rise in this 2020 year perfect synchronicity. Let us get to nation building. Let us get to African redemption. May we lose our fear of our oppressor. May we lose our fear of our oppressor. May we lose our fear of our oppressor, and may we embrace the greatness of ourselves. May we embrace the greatness of ourselves. May we embrace the greatness of ourselves. Ashe. 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 Now I got to take a picture. Hold on, y'all. I'll be...
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be...
Again, guys, I will play it again, man. But again, you see similarities between... There's so many similarities between these brothers. You know, like I said, you go back to the Jay video here, you know.
Better space. And so on those things. The first fund of this kind, the responsibility for our organization, current risk as pioneers and trailblazers. But as the fund manager, as a captain of the ship, I take on and I own up to the responsibility for our organization and its success, its activity, or any challenges or obstacles that we have. It falls on me, right? That is the reality, and the reality of why we were the first fund of this kind in 100 years within our community, and why there have not been tons of funds popping up since us, because it is a responsibility. It takes hard work. It is focus, it's dedication. There's reputational risk. If things don't go bad, guess what? All the fingers point at the manager and at the fiduciary party. And so we take on those things because Marcus Garvey took on those things. We take on those things because O.W. Gurley took on those things. We take on those things because so many others, Noble Drew Ali, Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and so many others took on these acts of pioneering to...
See, it's the same thing. He may not be at the gravesite throwing water. He may not be talking about Ashe. He may not be talking about, Mama Oya and Ogun and he may not be doing all of that, but it's still the same thing, right? It's using history, right? It's using consciousness. It's using wokeness. It's using the black struggle, right, to tap into your pockets. It's not to tap into your ancestors. It's to tap into that pocket. Right? It's the same thing. It's not. This is no difference, right? The difference is he's just doing it through real estate, and Umar's doing it through the school. It's the same thing, though. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's all the same. It's just a little bit different. Guys, when I speak to you, you never hear me talking about brothers and sisters. You never hear me talking about the Orishas. I don't talk about you about decalcifying the pineal gland. I'm not trying to tap into the interdimensional, I don't do any of that stuff. I'm not quoting our struggle. You don't see me trying to poverty pimp. You don't see me up here talking about who got shot and injustices. You don't see me doing any of that stuff. Right? I come to you with information. Tangible things that you can go and research and learn about. I come to you with things that you can actually implement in your life to do a little bit better. I talk to you guys about, you want to learn how to code? You want to learn some skills? MIT has open courseware for free. You don't have to go and pay someone to join their boot camp. You can go learn all of these different courses for free. I give you sources that you can go and learn from, right? I don't need to come join your academy. I can learn about math and computer programming. I bring this up all the time to show you that these are free sources. Free. You can go and learn how to code and program for free. Learn a tangible skill that can go put some money in your pocket. Go learn about STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. I'm not saying that you shouldn't know your history, but it's your history for a reason. What about your present? So many of you get caught up in the history. What about the present? Okay, you caught up in your history. You caught up in the ancestors. You're caught up in the ancestors. You're caught up in your history, your lineage. What about your present? What are you doing on a daily basis today that's going to contribute to your present and your future? Right? I'm not talking to you about taking some. I'm telling you, go learn about differential equations, physical chemistry, quantum physics. Go take an hour or two out of your day. So put down the Umar. Put down the J and the plebiscites. Put down the polites talking about drinking the kale juice. And go put an hour in and go learn how to program and code. Go put an hour into doing something like that that's going to help you become more skillful. Things that are going to make you more valuable in the marketplace. Somebody said that. You showing us white people all the time. That's because a lot of you black people aren't in the sect. Go get in it. It's a black guy right here. It's a black guy right here in your face. It's a black guy right here. Black guy. Black guy. Black guy. 1, 2, 3. You go be the person. See? There's 3 black guys here. Go be the 4th. Don't sit around and intellectually masturbate all day long about the ancestors. Go be one of the present people. Okay, there's 3 black guys. There's more white people. Go be one of the black ones. Go learn science. Go learn technology. Go learn engineering. Go learn math. Go and learn something. I don't want to sit around all day long listening to people talk to me about the problems. We live in the hood. We know the problems. I don't need a person to sit down and tell me that black people are poor. I'm black. I have black people in my family. I can see the conditions that are in my family. I'm the first black male in my family to go to college. I'm the first black man in my family to go to college. I don't need you to tell me about racial wealth gaps. I don't need you to tell me about the have and have nots. I live it, baby. I still got to help my mother pay her rent. You can't come talk to me about black struggle. I don't need you to talk to me about the black struggle. I live it. I know what the struggle is. Every day, all day, my phone ring. This one need 40. This one need a package. This one need bail money. So don't come talk that foolishness to me. Right? But I'm not going to sit up here all day long and just talk to you about the problem. You're not going to see me do that all day long. You're not going to see me sitting up here all day long talking to you about the problem. The problem. The problem. I live this. I live life, man. And I want to see you do better. I don't want to see you wasting 3, 4, 5 years of your life following behind someone who's selling you something that's not real. He said he'd do this in real life. And then we pull up the real life results and we don't see it. We see operating losses. We see losses here. Win, but we never win. They keep telling you we want to see the black man win, but you never win. When we gonna win, right? Why is it always that they win? I put my work in. Cecilia, I talk about bankers all the time. I talk about Trump. I got videos on my channel talking about Trump. So please spare me with that. I talk about Bernie Sanders. I talk about everyone. I bring information about everything. So spare me with the whole, black man. I talk about everyone. I talk about everything and everyone. And I don't sell you anything. And I don't sell you dreams. And I don't sell you hope. And I don't sell you aspirations. I'm going in on you good. And I'm blocking you. Goodbye. Get the hell out of here. Bye-bye. He took $500K from the fund, and he pretty much told everyone who invested that was a possibility from the get-go. I don't understand what you mean, Red Flare. He took $500K from the fund, which he pretty much told everyone who invested that was a possibility from the get-go. I mean, again, I'm not saying he's scamming people. I made that very clear. What he's doing is perfectly legal, right? It's in the SEC agreement. So I'm not sitting up here saying that he's lying in anything. I'm not sitting up here telling you that he's lying in any way. Thank you for the donation, Raise Rome. Today on YouTube, Godfrey Comedy released a clip of Asia speaking about his stock market scheme. She actuated over 10 years ago. She claims to do things that I'm very sure you can decode for us. Send me the link. Message me the link. Message me the link, Realm. He's tarnishing integrity, though. I have to go back and look at that. But again, I make these videos so that you could be better informed, so that you don't make the same mistake twice, right? We've all been young and impressionable before. And as I said before, I want to play this one last time before we get ready to wrap this up. This is hilarious. I just want to play this one last time.
1865, he fought to crumble in the Reverend Dr. James McCune Smith, born April 18th, 1813, died November 17th, 1865. He fought to end slavery. He fought to educate black children. If memory serves me correctly, he was an aide to Frederick Douglass when Frederick Douglass was escaping from slavery to freedom. And I got to get my history right, but he may have married Cousin Frederick and Auntie Anna Murray Douglass when they escaped from Baltimore to New York through Philadelphia. He may have been the priest to preside over the wedding, but I got to double check that because it's been a while on the stats. He was not a Pan-Africanist. He was not a Pan-Africanist. He felt that black people can make a way right here in the United States, but he was not an accommodationist. You don't have to be a Pan-Africanist as long as you're not an accommodationist. See, Dr. King was an integrationist, but Dr. King was not an accommodationist. He didn't bow down and lay down and let the Europeans do whatever they wanted to do to African people. He got up and he fought. Ashe, 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 Omi tutu honor tutu ile tutu tutu geri nembo Ashe, Ibuga Babu equal to Kunu. Europeans do whatever they wanted to do to African people. He got up and he fought. Ashe, Ashe. Ashe, Omi tutu honor tutu ile tutu tutu geri nembo Ashe, Ibuga Babu equal to Kunu. Africa, Ibirati, Ron Ashe, Ibuga Babu equal to Kunu. Africa, Ibirati, Ron Ibuga Babu equal to Kunu. Okun Ibirati, Ron Ibuga Babu equal to Kunu. Ayeti Tunu Ibirati, Ron Ibuga Babu equal to Kunu. Oroko Komu Ibirati, Ron Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. We call on this ancestor and all the ancestors that work with him. We call on this ancestor and all the ancestors that work with him to rise with us, you and Alexander Crummell and whatever other great heroes we have. And even those who are not heroes, who just lived their life, you understand, who just lived their life to help improve the condition of black people. We got so many heroes whose names we would never even know. This cemetery closes in 4 minutes. Lord have mercy. This was divine timing. This cemetery closes in 4 minutes. Lord have mercy. This was divine timing. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Lord have mercy. Mama Yemo Ja Orisha, Eshu Orisha, Ashe, Olokun Orisha, Oshun Ashe, Shango Ashe, Ogun Ashe, Osain Ashe, Ebeji Ashe, Babalu Ae Ashe, Obatala Ashe. We call on Oriashe. We call on all the spirits, the ancestors and the Orishas and the Loas and the Obusums to come and rise in this 2020 year perfect synchronicity. Let us get to nation building. Let us get to African redemption. May we lose our fear of our oppressor. May we lose our fear of our oppressor. May we lose our fear of our oppressor, and may we embrace the greatness of ourselves. May we embrace the greatness of ourselves. May we embrace the greatness of ourselves. Ashe. 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 Now I gotta take a picture. Hold on, y'all.
Yo, and that right there, my friends. Let me flip the camera over. Woo, woo, wee, man, woo, woo, man. Yo. I never thought that when I would, start creating this content. As I said before, guys, it's frustrating sometimes when I have people label me and, call me a scammer and stuff like that and say that I'm hustling black people and it's only a matter of time before I try to get your money. Guys, I can promise you, I have no investment schemes for you. I have no investment opportunities for you. I simply give my perspective, give my context to situations, and try to point you in directions. Again, not to make you follow me, but to just show you there's a different perspective, a different way of thinking. Not trying to tell you what to think, but just how to think, or a different way of thinking and looking at things. And this Tulsa Real Estate Fund, it's structured where you take all of the risk and you don't really get any of the reward. And if you do get the reward, it's pushed so far out, 5 years out, 10 years out. It's just like, that's not a good sound investment. You can go invest in REITs and other things and it's liquid. Like if you're investing in a REIT, there's enough liquidity for you to get out. There's liquidity to sell and get out. There's no market for these shares. They're illiquid. Excuse me. So who are you selling to, right? There's no one to sell to. I speak to you about things I hold. This is an American Buffalo gold coin. This gold coin costs over $1,600 as of today, right? This is a silver bar. This is a 10-ounce silver bar. I own this. I put thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars into gold and silver, right? Crypto, ledgers. I put money into this. You can see here, I got 1 ledger, 2 ledgers, 3 ledgers, right? Like I'm not someone that's sitting up here talking to you about the ancestors and something that magically came to me and something that someone gave me. No, I invest my money into the things that I talk about, right? I invest my money into the things that I talk about. I don't sit up here and talk to you about fantastical, magical things that I just pulled from the ether, right? I'm not sitting up here trying to give you, things like that. I own the things that I talk about, and I do the things that I talk about. Grace Media, understand, most of my gold and silver I don't have here with me. So, I don't have that. This USB is known as a nano ledger. This is a hardware wallet, because anytime that you have your crypto sitting on an exchange, you could potentially be hacked and have your crypto stolen. Not your keys, not your Bitcoin. Even if you take this USB, you can't do anything with it because you don't have you can't access this. You cannot access this because this is password protected. So even if you stole this, even if this is stolen, I could just crack this open. I have my seed phrase, put my seed password in. Only I know the seed phrase, and basically restore my wallet. So even if you stole this from me, if this is stolen from me, you can't do anything with it because you don't know the actual keys. So, right? And same thing with this. With Pop Smoke, I only have a few of these in my home. So if you get this, good luck. Like my gold and stuff is put in different places. I would never have, hundreds of thousands of dollars of money sitting here. And I have ways of protecting myself, legally. I have methods of protecting myself in my home. So believe me when I tell you that you're not going to just run up in my home and just take my stuff. So, and I have a safe bolted down. You're not going to just be able to get the safe. So, understand I'm protected, but thank you for saying that. I appreciate the fact that you're concerned about that. But trust me, guys, I know the internet. Guys, I have people making videos about me. They released my address already of where I stay at. I have people doing background checks on me, trying to find out where my mother lives. Guys, this is how YouTube is. And it's not white people doing this. This is black people doing this. So that's just a part of YouTube, guys. That's what comes with the game. Because many of these people, they're in cults. And when you speak about, real things and you give people information, people don't like that. People don't like for you to expose certain things. People don't want you to talk about, really important things or information and trying to, my safe is fireproof as well. So, but people, they don't like you when you're talking about information and exposing certain things. So, they, like I said, they've done, try to put my mother's old address up on the internet and stuff like that. So that's just that's what comes with this territory. When you are a public figure in a public eye, people are going to attack you. That's just that. Jay Morrison blocked me because he knew the questions that I was posing, they're real questions. And there's 451 of you watching this video. Please like it. Although Jay raised millions, I knew he was greatly underfunded, and to buy that building without real income was dangerous. Yeah. I'm not into junk silver, Michael Clark. I don't think that that's a good investment. But Realist Talk, I totally agree with you. I think that the Legacy Center was more of a marketing tool. The Legacy Center is more of him it was a way for him to basically position himself as this young Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey leader that's, trying to look out for the community and the people. It's a marketing scheme. And it's basically, it works to get more people in the fund. Because again, many of our people lack financial literacy and we don't understand what a good investment is versus what a bad investment is. Like, I should not compensate you for, your time that you've invested in the business. I should be compensating you for the performance of the business. Like I said before, go to my YouTube video where I break down, I made less than $3,000 this year on YouTube. That camera and the lens and the wireless microphone and then the Rode microphone that's there and the lens that's there, that cost me more than, almost $2,500. More than $2,500 just for the camera alone. The webcam, the mics, the software, the desk, the chair, like all of these things, cost money. All of these things cost money, but I invested in myself. I can't then come to you and say, you have to pay me because I spent thousands of dollars on computers, the desktop that I'm streaming on right now to have 64 gigs of RAM, to make sure I have, a good motherboard. I built this PC so that I could be able to stream and not have to worry about, stuff like that going like that. So I'm in the red, but this is something that I wanted to do. So it's going to probably take me 2 years, before I make back the money, but this was for me to invest in myself because I want to get better at my public speaking. I want to get better at content creation because I have other things that I'm looking to do as far as business wise. As I said before, like if white people have $105 trillion plus and black people only have $4.5 trillion, I want to go compete where the money's at. I don't want to sit up here and do debates and do lectures and get donations all day long and, try to, create little funds and courses and stuff like that. That stuff's okay. You should get paid for that. Right. But I want to go where the big money's at. As I said to you before, as soon as I see those young boys doing that auto brokering, what banks hold those loans? Because those are the banks that are at the most risk. I want to go short those stocks. I want to go buy some puts in that company. Right. That's how I think. That's how I look at things. That's subprime lending. If I see you predominantly loaning money to black people, I know black people are poor. I know the data. So once I know the data now, I just need to follow the trail. Follow where the scammers are at. Because it's white money behind these black faces. That's all it is, right? Why don't you do junk silver? I don't need to do it. Excuse me. Like for example, like I have this here, right? I have like this is an American Eagle right here. A 1 ounce American Eagle silver coin, right? I don't need to do junk silver because, to me, it's like, it has value in it, but I just prefer to do these coins right here. It's not that junk silver is bad. It's just, there's a lot of, when you try to go back and resell it, it's not as easy to resell junk silver, right? You have to think about it, right? One day you're going to want to sell your silver coins. You're going to want to sell your gold coins. You're going to want to sell your silver bars. And with junk silver, it's easy for you to get some bad silver that's maybe not really even silver. And then a lot of bullion dealers, they just don't really want to buy it back from you. Like when I go here with my silver coins, I know for a fact American Eagles, they're easy to sell. A lot of bullion dealers, they don't want to buy it at spot price. They just don't want to buy it back from you. So you have to be careful with that. Realist Talk said 20% and up on interest on those auto loans, 100%. Follow the money. Colloidal silver throat spray, 30 ppm. Realist Talk, you're going far, brother Eli. Thank you. Should have got a free 9 million from poor blacks. Jay and people like him really think very little of black people. Of course they do. Of course they do. There wasn't any sacrifice on his part, unlike Malcolm X and Marcus Garvey and etc. And I see that's what I agree with the most right there, Stacy. That's what I agree with the most. To do this to black people and to cloak this and somehow this is black empowerment, and you know that it's not. You know that it's not. See, I wouldn't have no problem with running a business, but you wrap this in Tulsa, and knowing what happened in Tulsa and that tragedy and how people were bombed and just, our people were destroyed and terrorized, and to use that to promote, some fund is just, to me, is unethical to the highest degree. Duda or Math, thank you for that. I'll look into that. My throat's been messed up for a while. I've been short the auto loans. I've been talking about Jay Morrison and the people with the auto loans. I mean, guys, look at the market. The market's down over 5,000 points. The S&P's down over 12%. I've more than gotten the money in my in those puts that I put in. So remember, guys, I've been talking on this channel about the market crashing for a while. Like, if you just follow my videos, like I invest in things that are going to perform well when the market crashes. Like I understand money is debt. And I understand the only way the economy can grow is by Americans going into debt. And I break this down in all of my videos before. So, I invest in gold and silver as a hedge against inflation. I invest in crypto as speculating. Crypto's $160 billion, not a crypto, but Bitcoin primarily. Bitcoin is $160 billion market cap crypto. The gold market's an $8 trillion market. These are global assets. Apple's worth $1 trillion. Well, not today, but at its height was worth $1 trillion. When people sell assets, you have to then buy something. Like, no one wants to hold cash, right? We know, right? This is debt. This is fiat money. This is debt. It loses at least 3% every year, right? So we know that when you see $3, $4, $5 trillion come out the stock market, someone has been shorting those stocks. Someone's making money on the way down. Now, when they cash out, they have to hop into something. Assets go from overvalued to undervalued, undervalued to overvalued. The stock market's extremely overvalued from Fed intervention. We have no price discovery. We know that there's no price discovery in the stock market. It's extremely overvalued. It's not operating for fundamentals. It's all about cheap money and stock buybacks. Trump gives the wealthy, the elite, the tax cut. They took the tax cut, brought back their stock, pumped their prices up. So now when the market's crashing, people have to put that money somewhere. Now you have to think, where's that money going to go? Well, Bitcoin's a $160 billion asset. It's tiny, it's small. I just told you Apple's $1 trillion asset. So if I'm looking at something, Ethereum's what, $25 billion market cap? Where I want to put my money at? Thank you guys for the donation. I'm enjoying your content. Thank you for posting. We need that class on finances from you, bro. Yeah, I'm going to start doing that probably on Sunday. Y'all just have to give me topics. You have to actually like follow me on Instagram and give me topics. But back to my point. So when I'm looking at the market, I'm saying, remember I said Tesla's a garbage company. Tesla popped, blew through 500. I still was standing by what I said. It's a garbage company because I know that it's only being pumped by cheap money. I know that pension funds, they need to make at least 7% per year. So they're not going to invest in outright stocks. They invest in junk debt, junk bonds. Well, companies now get funding. Tesla should never be able to go to the debt markets, the credit markets, and get funding. It's a cool car, but the company's not profitable. It's a bad business. But when money is cheap, you see stocks like that pump. So I'm sitting on the sideline saying, I'm not going to buy those stocks. I'm going to put money in crypto. So when Bitcoin's sitting at $5,000 a coin, when it's sitting at $3,000 a coin, and you're telling me it's a scam, I'm saying I'm buying that because it's undervalued. When Ethereum is sitting at $80 and $60, I'm buying that. When Tezos is sitting at $1 and you're telling me it's garbage, the protocol, no one's building on top of it, I'm buying it. And then now Tezos is sitting at what, $3? $3.50? Bitcoin sitting at 9,000, and I'm laughing because while you were telling me it was a scam, I was investing. And when all of you were piling into stocks and piling into Tesla at 7, 8, 900, I was saying I don't want to touch that because I understand markets are pendulums. They swing back and forth. Leverage is double-sided. It works well when things are going up, but when things go back against you, now look, everyone's complaining. The Fed cut interest rates. The market still crashed another 2,000 points after Powell cut interest rates. Why? Because the markets are overvalued. They're overvalued. They're not operating off of fundamentals and true price discovery. It's all manipulation. You know? And if they continue falling, buy more, laugh aloud. Don't go broke chasing yields, though. I just brought Ripple. I'm not a fan of Ripple, but you can make money in Ripple. I don't like the actual technology, and I don't really like the people behind Ripple. They have a lot of lawsuits and stuff going on. Don't get caught buying cryptocurrencies because they're cheap. Don't fall into that trap. Like, oh, well, Tron's only 3 cents or Cardano's only 8 cents. Don't fall for that. Because remember, Bitcoin is operated in Satoshis, 8 places from the decimal point. So you can buy 1 Satoshi. Well, obviously you wouldn't buy, but you could buy like, 500 Satoshis. You don't have to, buy a whole full Bitcoin, right? You could buy $500 worth of Bitcoin, $100 worth of Bitcoin. You don't have to buy the whole full Bitcoin or Ethereum. My personal way that I look at it, and see, I could talk about crypto because it's not regulated. So I don't have to worry about me trying to solicit business. So I can speak about crypto and gold and stuff like that. When I look at Ethereum, I look at Ethereum as like more like an ETF, right? To me, Ethereum is like an ETF for all of the altcoins. If we have altcoin season, Ethereum is going to do well because many of these blockchains are either built on top of Ethereum or they were once recently on top of Ethereum, then they launched their own mainnet. So if we have altcoins that perform well, Ethereum is going to perform well. So rather than trying to pick which crypto is going to do well, I'd rather just own Ethereum or the BNB token, Binance, right? Because Binance is the only exchange that really sells and offers most of these altcoins. So I want to own, if I believe in the altcoins, I don't want to try to find if it's going to be Nulls, Waves, Steam, Cardano, Ripple. I don't want to guess which altcoin is going to be the one that's successful. I'll just buy the exchange that sells them. That's how I think about things, right? I don't like Tesla. I don't think that Tesla's a good investment at all. I brought Tesla back in 230. It's just overvalued right now. I don't think long-term Tesla's a good company, in my opinion. I'm 2 hours behind, but this angers me. $400K to manage the Tesla, fund is to underperform. Where's the best place to purchase? So for new people who are just starting, I would say if you want to buy stuff, just go to AppMex. You're probably going to pay like 2% higher than spot price or whatever, or like 1% higher. Like, it's not nothing crazy, but it's safe. they're regulated, and you know that the bars and stuff that you're buying, they actually have like a serial number, so you can track it and see who's owned it. You can see where it actually came from, and you can make sure that your silver is legit. Like, so that to me is the most important thing, especially when you're new. Once you get a little bit of experience and you get into actually collecting, because like not all coins have of the same monetary value. Some of them are actually worth more because they're collector's items, or they may be older, like they may be like 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 years older. So I would say go to like gold and silver bullion shops or gold and silver shows if you really want to collect this type of stuff. But if you're just a person who, you know, let's say once a month you just want to buy $200 worth of silver, you know, $200 worth of gold once a month, go to APMEX, APMEX. I'll put it in the chat for you right now. Give me a second. And remember, you're not buying gold because you're trying to make money. You're buying gold and silver because you're trying to hedge against an inflation and the devaluing of your dollar. If you want to speculate to make money, you speculate in things that are going to actually, you know, give you a higher return. So I speculate in things like cryptocurrency or gold and silver mining stocks that pay dividends, because we can see what's happening in the market right now. Like the GDX is up high. Yeah, like he said, establish relationships with dealers, 100%. I like to deal with I like to go to gold and silver shows and stuff like that. I just buy my metals from the bank and keep the receipt, which can be resold at spot price. I never heard of that, Car Black. That's new. I never heard of that one before. APMEX. I just put it in the chat for you. A lot of shops here sell coins. Yeah. And you can get better deals if you actually go to like shops, like bullion dealers and stuff like that. After watching your content, I was watching investment YouTubers like Graham Stephan, who still had this unfounded faith in the economy and was confused. You have to understand, people like Graham Stephan, they approach finance from a different perspective. Graham Stephan, like for example, right? These guys, they play the YouTube algorithm. You have to think about that, right? They play the YouTube algorithm. So certain topics they're not going to speak about because it hurts their channel. So like if I speak about Trump or I speak about what's happening with the virus, YouTube's going to automatically demonetize my video. So you have to understand a lot of these vloggers, they make a living off of YouTube. See, I don't make a living off YouTube. This video is probably only going to make $30. I'm probably going to make more because those of you who donated. See, this is why I say you have to donate, because these videos don't get monetized. So Graham Stephan's not going to talk to you about the Federal Reserve. He's not going to speak to you about fractional reserve banking. He's not going to speak to you about predatory lending towards black people. He's not going to talk to you about subprime lending, about how black people qualified for prime loans back before the housing crisis, and they were giving subprime loans. He's not going to talk to you about what's happening in the repo market, where basically a few of these banks, they hold too much bad paper. Bad paper means bad loans. Because what happened in the subprime mortgage market is happening now in the subprime auto loan market. And one of these banks, it may be Deutsche Bank overseas, but one of these banks is in trouble. And that's why the Fed is pumping so much liquidity into the system, because someone's having a problem where like they're having to oversubscribe to the repo market. $111 billion in a day is what the banking system needed to do day-to-day banking. Think about that. If the economy is roaring and doing so well, why do they need $100 billion to do day-to-day banking? And guys, I show you this stuff with the data. I mean, I could pull it up for you again. Give me 1 second. 1 second. Give me 1 second. I'll pull it up for you guys. Here we go. You know, because I know some of you are like, what the hell is he talking about? This yellow, flip this over. Right? Like this right here, you can go to the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. And right here it has the corresponding date. So you see 3/4, 3/3, 3/2, 228, 227, 226, 225. These are the actual dates, right? This is Excel spreadsheet. This is the data that I've downloaded off of their website. Like, I don't guess when I speak to you guys. Like, total submitted, right? So they have to say what the Fed says what they're willing to loan, and then the banks say what they actually need. And the Fed has a cap at $100 billion. The banks needed $111 billion to operate for the day. So this is what's happened with the reverse purchase agreements, right? So they needed 111 billion, 108 billion, 70 billion, 53 billion, 26 billion, 30, 46, 38, 49, 40, 40, 40, 32, 48, 53. These are billions of dollars that are being pumped into the banking system on a day-to-day basis for them to operate. Right, like this is what's needed to operate on a daily basis for the banks. And most of this money, because one of these banks are in trouble. So this is why I was saying to you before, they're basically injecting this liquidity into these banks so that they can loan to each other, because one of these banks are in trouble. And these are billions of dollars that are being pumped into the financial system. And this is just one of the programs that the Fed has. They have the discount window. They have the overnight window. Then they have programs like quantitative easing 1, 2, and 3. This is basically QE4. They have ZIRP, zero interest rates policy. Then you have fiscal stimulus over and over and over again. I'll show you where to get the spreadsheet from right now. Don't worry about it. Give me 1 second and I'll show you. I'll show you where you can actually get this information from. Give me 1 second. Let me pull it up. Federal Reserve Bank of New York. Like, see, that's one thing about me, guys. I don't want to sit up here and tell you about things that I, just heard about yesterday. I want to actually take the time out and give you the information so you can go look it up on your own. And you go here, right? So market implementation. Give me 1 second. Right? And it shows you all of the different operations they have here. So I'll put this in the chat for you. And you can go in here and you can play with all of this data for yourself and you can see. Right? It's monopoly money. The Fed is basically printing money out of thin air to buy treasuries back from the bank that the government printed out of thin air. Think about this. The government print pieces of paper and they send it over to the Fed so that they can print pieces of paper to send it over to the government. And then the Fed gives these pieces of paper to the primary dealers, known as T-bills. These are treasuries. And they go into the market and they sell them. What was happening is the Fed is saying, well, since a lot of people don't really want to buy these treasuries, we're going to buy them back from you. That's known as a reverse repo. Right? And what's happening is the system is crumbling in your face. So because I understand money, and you can see this says reverse repo operations. Again, guys, all you got to do is do a Google search, do a YouTube search, and you can find this stuff out on your own. There's plenty of information here. Probably Wells Fargo again. I don't believe it's Wells Fargo. I believe it's Deutsche Bank. I believe that it's Deutsche Bank that's in trouble. And if you understand, paper gold, the GLD, Deutsche Bank and what was the other bank? HSBC. They are custodians to a lot of gold ETFs and gold funds. So you have to be careful with a lot of these banks when you're buying these paper gold. But again, you can go here and you just simply click on the reverse repo operation and it'll pull it up for you. And you can see, right, it says treasury. It says accept it, submit it, right? So they submitted that they need $89 billion and the Fed accepted 89.6. Right? So think about this, right? Like they're saying they submitted to the Fed and said, hey, we need $89 billion overnight. And the Fed obviously accepted it. So that means the Fed just printed money out of thin air. And you can see show the last 25 operations. So you can see this is day by day, right? Friday, March 6th, they needed 89 billion. They needed 87 billion on March 5th. They needed a deal date, delivery date Wednesday on the 4th. They needed 111 billion. Right? They needed 108 billion. So look at this. They went over the cap. They needed $108 billion. They needed 70 billion. So this is what's going on, right? So when Trump says the economy is strong, guys, we know the economy isn't strong. We know that. We know that the economy is struggling, and we know that the economy is failing. But there's 416 of you watching this. Like the video, guys. I'm going to wrap it up here. We'll definitely do another live stream probably tomorrow or going into Sunday. I just want to wrap it up like this. Listen, the bottom line is this. I'm not here to attack Jay Morrison. I wish him the best of luck. I wish that the people who have invested in the Tulsa Fund, I wish you the best of luck. I'm simply doing this to keep a record and keep a tally. When you talk all that fly stuff that you do this in real life, and I look here and I see that you lost money 2 years in a row, I don't see all of this expertise that requires you to I'll post the link again for you guys. Someone said they didn't get the link. Copy. And here we go. Paste. You know, I don't see all of this success and the bravado that you're talking about. I just don't see it. And you know, this is for half the year. He charged $458,744. That's a net loss, right? $458,744 is what he's basically his fees to run the fund, and that's for half the year. So we're going on almost $1 million. You know, at a certain point, you have to say to yourself, is this a viable business opportunity, or is this just a way for him to enrich himself with a bunch of fees? You know, you have to ask that self, you know, ask yourself that question. So those are things that you have to do. So, but with that being said, guys, I'm going to end it here. It's Friday night. It's 11 o'clock. I didn't expect to go this long. Sheesh. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you for tuning in. Please like the video, share the video. Please subscribe, hit that notification bell so that you can get notified. Follow me on Instagram. You can DM me. I respond most of the time. If I don't, I'll get to you eventually. Real talk, I already have done your video. I'll probably just talk about it on the Q&A on Sunday. Thank you for the donation again. For everyone who's donated, thank you again. If I missed your donation, because some of you donated earlier while I was in the middle of the presentation and I didn't really get a chance to answer any of your questions, please DM me or submit the questions on Sunday and I'll definitely answer them for you. But again, guys, thank you to everyone who has supported. Appreciate it.